Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, it looks like California is going to beat out Florida for the fastest cooling state. Now, as an ex-SoCal resident, I can honestly say I have no idea how normal people can afford to live in California. Nevertheless, we are seeing a massive inventory surge and price cuts spread throughout Southern California and Northern California. But just what cities are experiencing the fastest cool down and what other cities in different states are experiencing that. So that's what we're going to unpack today, y'all. And we're going to uncover that in an article from Redfin that's titled, "The Bay Area Housing Market is Cooling More Rapidly Than Anywhere Else in the Country." Now, obviously, I'm not your financial advisor, even if I want to be, which I might, but I'm not. And I have to say this now. Also, remember this is my personal YouTube channel. It's just me. I'm a normal person. I'm a father, a husband. I lost everything in 2008 housing market crash. That's who I am. That's my experience. But my work stuff, realtor, loan officer, instructor in real estate. So I have a special opinion, and I tend to lean on the side of protecting first-time homeowners for obvious reasons. They're the biggest at danger and the biggest at risk of emotions taking over logic, which is fear of missing out. So I tend to side to that. I always have loved helping first-time home buyers, or really anyone that has a challenge. I always took pride in bringing and helping people to the finish line of home ownership. And that's who I am. This is my personal YouTube channel. So if you guys can, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't, shoot me a comment below, turn on notifications, and share this video. I would greatly appreciate that. There's an overwhelming amount of love that I've been receiving through the channel, and I really want to say thank you to all of those people and to my subscribers that are emailing me articles. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you for also doing that. You guys empower me. You make me want to be a better person. So thank you. But let's get started on this article right now. Housing markets in Northern California are cooling faster than anywhere else in the U.S. Amid high mortgage rates and faltering stock market, 5 of the 10 U.S. housing markets that have cooled fastest this year are in Northern California. So 5 out of 10 in Northern California. Big surprise, right? Not. Those are San Jose, Oakland, San Francisco, Sacramento, and Stockton. And 3 of those 5 are in the Bay Area. All 10 of the housing markets cooling fastest are the American West. The cool down is largely because mortgage rates nearly doubled in the first half of the year, reaching nearly 6% in June. That caused the monthly mortgage payment for a typical home buyer to surge 45%. Again, 45%. You guys understand? This blows me away that people still get this wrong. You know, we're in this situation because of demand, not supply. But again, I say, and that's why these interest rates are so effective at cooling our housing market, by the way. I know I keep yelling that. I hope you guys watch my video that goes into that. But regardless, surge 45% year over year to $2,459 in June, and priced many buyers out of the market. Cool down comes after the housing market soared to new heights during the pandemic, largely fueled by record low mortgage rates and remote work. The housing market has changed drastically in the last month because higher rates make homes even more expensive than they used to be. At the same time, fewer people can afford pricey homes because of the volatile stock market, said San Francisco Redfin agent Joanna Ross, and she could say that again. The stock market has been bad. In the early spring, every home was selling over its asking price with multiple bids. Then the number of people attending open houses dropped from 20 to 2. And now some homes are sitting on the market for over a month and selling for under asking price. Supply is starting to pile up. This is according to a Redfin analyst of housing market data from February 22 to May 22. In the 100 most populous U.S. metro areas, rankings are based on changes over that time period in year-over-year growth in prices, price drops, supply, pending sales, sell-to-list ratio, and speed of home sales. So we are starting to see massive cracks already in the housing market, predominantly out west in the Bay areas. And again, the reason why we're seeing this and the reason why we're seeing it so quickly is because this bubble was formed by demand, not supply. The Federal Reserve opened the floodgates of demand, which is why lifting the mortgage rates like this is so effective. The skyrocketing mortgage rates destroyed the housing market. It rug pulled and whiplashed so many people. And now these cracks are going to start spreading throughout the nation. Let's continue on with this article right now. Okay, so the article goes on. Northern California's housing market is cooling faster than anywhere else in the country. San Jose is cooling at the fastest clip, with measures of homebuyer demand and competition dropping off quicker than any other major metro this year. The supply of homes for sale in San Jose was up 10% year over year in May, but just 3 months earlier in February, supply was down 43%. Just 3 months earlier, indicating that buyers are now gobbling up fewer homes. And the share of homes that went off market in 2 weeks was down 5% year over year in May, a big swing from a 22% year over year increase in February. That's an indicator that homes are selling slower. Now, after San Jose, Sacramento is cooling fastest, followed by Oakland and Stockton, California. Located about 50 miles south of Sacramento, comes in at number 5, and Sacramento is number 10. And here's a map, you guys. We won't go into this because I'm going to have a list of the cities, but what's really intriguing here is how quickly these things have happened, right? So in just 3 months, so much has changed and so much has happened. And essentially, inventory in San Jose in just 3 months has gone up 53%. And that's a housing market where back in February, people were paying $100,000 to $200,000 over appraisal value. If those people would have waited just 3 months, they would have saved $100,000 to $200,000. But not only that, they would have 53% more inventory. So more than likely, they would not have had to settle. Digest that for a minute, right? Isn't that powerful? Isn't fear of missing out dangerous, right? Not to me, because I don't have that fear of missing out, really. Or if I do, I can really have my logic take over, right? And I start researching and analyzing data. But the problem here is so many professionals failed us. So many professionals failed us. And again, I don't necessarily think that they're evil or greedy. I believe that the greed is in play, but I think a lot of people just don't know what's going on. This is not something we've been through before, and everyone was whiplashed and rug pulled. So quite frankly, people were not prepared, but we are. Remember that. We are. Let's continue on with this article right now. Okay, it goes on. It's a bit of a read. In dollar terms, mortgage rates reaching nearly 6% in the spring had a particularly big impact in prices in pricey areas like Northern California. The typical mortgage payment on $1 million home is roughly $5,750 with a 6% interest rate. $1,400 higher than it would be at a 3% interest rate, assuming a 20% down payment. Most people don't do 20% down. Nevertheless, the increase is half as big with a home price close to the national median. The typical monthly payment of a $450,000 home is about $2,600 with a 6% rate, about $700 higher with a 3% rate. And again, these numbers aren't including taxes and insurance. That's just the mortgage payment. So when you throw taxes and insurance on that, it's a lot higher, especially if you're paying taxes on $1 million house. The article continues. Would-be buyers are shying away because they simply have less money, both for down payments and monthly payments. More than half the buyers I see in San Francisco are tech workers, and many of them have seen their employers' stock prices tumble over the past few months. In a lot of cases, that have cost people 6 figures in the stock market. Ouch. Then there's inflation. People are paying way more for things like groceries and gas so that they don't have as much money in their budget. On top of that, monthly payments are a lot higher than they used to be, even if prices are slightly down because of increased rates. But there is good news for some buyers. People who can afford to buy right now could get something for $100,000 to $200,000 less than a few months ago, largely because homes are often no longer selling above asking price. They have a higher monthly payment for now due to the rise in mortgage rates, but can refinance later if rates come down. And that's not true. If equity goes down and people no longer have under 100% LTV, they can't refinance. So I hate when people says, "Oh, you can refinance." It's not a certainty. Yes, you can if you qualify. Remember, lending standards are tight. Let's continue. Pricey coastal markets, including San Francisco, were the first to see signs of a slowdown when mortgage rates started rising. There were fewer people in San Francisco starting online home searches, contacting real estate agents, and applying for mortgages in early spring than a year earlier. Even if the Bay Area slowdown leads to a declining in home prices, it's likely to remain among the most expensive parts of the country, partly because it's significantly more expensive than almost anything else in the US, and partly because other metros are cooling too. Plus, higher mortgage rates means buyers are still paying top dollar. You guys, that sounds like the story of my youth in SoCal, buying an overpriced house. My payment was $5,000. I bought a condo. It's an 1,800 square foot condo in Ladera Ranch. Okay. $5,000 mortgage payment. What was I thinking? I didn't even have a family back then, but it is what it is. Back then, my ego was completely out of control, way worse than it is right now. And it basically, the fear of missing out, and I got consumed by what other people were saying, and I stopped making my own decisions. And that's what I fear so many people have done and are going to continue to do. Because again, can you imagine paying $200,000 over asking price and then just 3 months later, that's all over with? How does that make you feel? That's got to be terrible. And if you're a professional, shame on you, right? But not all professionals can control their client, right? I get that as well. We can only advise. I understand that. But it is really, really sad. I'm not one of these guys that are like, "Oh, stupid buyers, greedy, buying at the wrong time." I'm not like that, because I used to be one of those people and I got hurt. So I have empathy for those people. And I don't want anyone that listens to me to fall into that same tough lesson that I learned, and like so many other people are about to learn. Let's finish out this article right now. Okay, so here's the remaining cities. Let's read this. Pandemic boom towns like Boise and Austin are also cooling quickly. Seattle number 4, Boise number 6, Denver 7, San Diego 8, Tacoma 9, and rounding out the list at 10 is Cape Coral, Florida, Las Vegas, Austin, and Northport, all popular migration destinations during the pandemic era, among the top 20 markets cooling fastest. So people rushed to these cities in the pandemic, a lot because of tech and job market. So these are also super at risk. My eyes are on Austin, because I'm in Texas, and generally Texas is a super safe and stable state. So I'll be looking for deals also in Austin from new builders. Let's continue. Sacramento, Boise, Tacoma, Austin, and Phoenix were all pandemic boom towns. They attracted scores of remote workers moving in from coastal California, Seattle, and other pricey job centers in search of affordable, spacious homes and a slower paced lifestyle. I like slower paced lifestyles. I'm happy with just being normal, you guys. Let's finish this out. The influx of out of towners, along with a limited supply of homes for sale, caused home prices in those places to rise rapidly, sending them from affordable to not so affordable. Boise home price increased 53% from May 2020 to May 2022, reaching a median of 550,000, and Tacoma prices increased 47% to 575,000. Higher home prices, the pandemic tapering off, and some workers return to the office are causing their popularity to wane. So again, if you're an investor or if you just want an affordable house, keep your eyes on those cities. It's more than likely that they will come crumbling down the fastest and drop the highest amount in equity. But again, we got to really watch the job market, because right now it's apparently healthy, although I think that's going to change rapidly and soon. Now, in conclusion, this is what I want to say. Remember where we were as a nation 3 months ago. Remember how many people are clueless, and remember what you have learned. And I will also say it is still bad. There's still so many people that have their head in the sand, and when you just try to talk to them, they get so emotional. I don't know why they get so emotional, but they do, when all we're trying to do is help. But remember, you guys, just 3 months ago, people were still overbidding, which means the interest rates increasing were massively effective. The reason we're in this bubble because of demand, not supply. Although supply is a huge problem. In the long term, we need a lot more supply so that we don't end up in this situation again. But make no mistake, this is a demand bubble, not a supply bubble. Other than that, you guys, I really hope you got some value from this video. I hope that they're helping. I hope you're learning. I hope you're empowering yourself. And as always, if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck and I hope you win.